Welcome to the Quiet Impact Podcast. In today's episode, we will be looking at some of the people in your neighborhood. I'm sure it is not what you're thinking. And more specifically, who's running things around here. We'll be diving into how your choices and your self-beliefs, how they shape the future version of you, and looking at some of those quirky characters that may be keeping you from your goals. If you've ever wondered how to step beyond just surviving and truly thrive as you become the hero in your own journey, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome to the Quiet Impact Podcast, where we nurture the journey of introverts who desire to achieve greater levels of influence, income, and impact. The go-to podcast for introvert achievers just like you, seeking purpose-driven growth. I am your host, Stephanie Oden. Have you ever desired to have a mentor whisper success secrets into your ear? One with firsthand experience as a six-figure corporate leader, expertise in entrepreneurship, and is an introvert? Tune into each episode where we will provide valuable insights into how introverts can effectively navigate life with full-time jobs, pursue career success, and delve into entrepreneurship. We will explore various business and career topics related to self-discovery, achieving success, and finding joy in the journey. My guest and I share real-life experiences, strategies, tools, and resources that will encourage personal and professional growth, self-empowerment, and living an authentic, purposeful life. Let's get into today's episode. We're not shy, timid, or needing to be fixed. We are an introvert, and that is our superpower. Introverted AF. Absolutely fabulous and feisty. Who let the dogs out? Or who's running things around here? Either one would be a good title for today's episode. I'm going to go with who's running things around here. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, Sesame Street, that was my BFF. Those were my friends. I don't know if it was because I was an introvert, and I think Mr. Snuffleupagus was an introvert. Although Big Bird was the only one that could see him for a while, I'm glad they finally let somebody else see him other than Big Bird because, yeah. Who are the people in your neighborhood? The people that you meet when you're walking down the street, they're the people that you meet each day. If we think about what we think about, it really is like a little neighborhood. Who's running it? Who is running it? You know, life is funny. You keep pushing forward, you become somebody. You quit, well, you still become somebody, just not the somebody you were hoping for. Every single choice you make is shaping a future you. I want to encourage you to keep striving. You will transform into a better version of yourself if you don't quit. If you keep pushing, if you keep looking for ways to grow, if you keep going after your goals and maybe you fall short of the actual goal, but you will be ahead of where you started if you keep pushing. And I promise you, if you quit, it's going to feel like you're binge watching your own life story from the sidelines. And you'll be wondering what could have been. If you've been on this journey for a while, you know striving is not glamorous. That's the thing about pursuing your career, pursuing success in your business. A lot of times you can only see one part of it. That is the side that says, oh, overnight Look at where I am. I am 10 billion K earner. It's not like that. It is not like that. It is being in the grind. And sometimes it really is surviving a Monday morning. It's resisting the urge to throw in the towel, throw your goals out the window because it gets hard. There's always something happening in life. Life is always lifing. Let me encourage you. Every effort adds up. Whether it's reading a book, whether it's taking a class, whether it's listening to this podcast, every single one of them will pay off. And that's the not giving up when it's tricky. Now, sure, quitting sure does feel good in the moment. In the moment. No more stress, no more effort, just sweet. Sweet, sweet comfort. But once you get to that level where you're pushing yourself and you realize that you didn't give what you could have given, it's not so sweet anymore. Comfort does not always lead to greatness. Almost never does comfort lead to greatness. There's a stretch that's involved. There's a stretch that's involved to get you where you want to go. And I will also tell you, I know this from personal from personal experience. I had an opportunity to do something I was afraid of in my fitness class. I let fear win. I let fear win and I didn't do it. I never knew whether I could or not that day. But what happened was it put me in this spiral of doubting other things. So push yourself. Maybe you don't have to do the whole thing that you're afraid of. Maybe a piece of it. Maybe just a piece of it. And sometimes you need to ask yourself, who do I want to be? What version of myself do I want to be? How can I use that version of myself that I want to be? How can I tap into that power right now and achieve something incredible? Something today that I haven't done before. Or there's the other side, the what if. The other people in the neighborhood. I was working with a coaching client, and as we were going through our sessions, I coach in a way that I like to be relatable to the particular client. And sometimes examples come to help them get insight. And this particular day, we were talking about her desire to help people. Now, most of us, if you're in business, your desire, your passion, your drive typically comes out of the need to help someone. That's that big old helping heart that we have. And the problem was it wasn't making her any money because she wasn't charging anything for the helping. And we stumbled on this in one of our sessions, and it became a way that we sometimes talk through things that are going on with her. And it was this whole naming thing. Now, I don't know if you've seen The Little Shop of Horrors before. It's an old movie, but there was this Venus flytrap, and uh, he was always hungry. And he talked and he said, "Feed me, Seymour." Okay, he may not talk like that, but that's what he said. And what we ended up coming up with was naming that character, that strong desire to feed someone without any mutually beneficial impact. That started the whole thing. Feed me, Seymour. Because that was that strong desire that I know so many entrepreneurs battle with, especially when they are starting out, is feeling like I know something, I really want to help people, And you get into that routine of not asking people for money. And trust me, it's a lot of people who will get in line if you're not charging. And I remember this part. If I remember it wrong, okay, don't come after me. But I just remember this part in the movie where Seymour could never feed him enough and he just kept getting bigger. That that may be you if you have Feed Me Seymour in your neighborhood. FMS. If you have a Feed Me Seymour in your neighborhood, the other part of it is you will keep attracting that type of person until you recognize that. And that's what started to happen. She became more aware of how she was showing up in this arena. And we started tracking, well, how many times do you feed Seymour and don't get benefit from it? And she saw how she was literally giving away money. Now, I'm not saying don't be charitable because I believe that money in the hands of good people does amazing things. I am not saying that. I am saying that for you to put out the huge value that you are in the world, you should be compensated for that value putting out there. FMS, Feed Me Seymour. Another character that came up as we continued to work together was this fear of judgment when we were talking about expanding her social media presence. And it came out that there was a fear of a judgment. Neighborhood, Jackie. But you don't say Jackie like Jackie, you say Jackie. That judging Jackie or judgmental Jackie. And there is that fear of judgment. Now, what's so great about this is as you recognize this, as you give them a name, what I was starting to see as I continued to work with her is she would recognize it on her own and she would snap out of that place. Another one that you may have in your neighborhood or not, you may have some of these, all of these, none of these in your neighborhood, is Doubting Deborah. Now, one of the things that I noticed with Doubting Deborah, and may not be your case, but with this particular client, Doubting Deborah always showed up when she was physically exhausted. You better believe your vibration is impacted and your ability to stave off um, the people in the neighborhood is impacted when your defenses are low and when you're exhausted. And so we noticed that when she was really exhausted, Deborah showed up. Deborah showed up. We want to listen to our bodies. We want to keep it in a high frequency state. We want to keep it vibing at a higher level because knock, 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 open it up. There's Deborah. Richard. Remember Richard. Sir Richard, to be exact. You may have a Richard and you may not call yours Richard, but Richard was the one that would show up and remind her that, oh, remember in the past that didn't work. You haven't been successful in that before. I don't know why you want to set that. It's different from Deborah. It's different from Jackie because it's that little peeky boo. It's almost like the inner critic in a way, but comes across in a way that's protective, but not so much. Richard, Sir Richard, to remind you of what it is you weren't able to get done, what goals you didn't meet, possibly past failures. Um, that's him. Yeah, in the neighborhood. There's one other person in the neighborhood I want to share with you that hasn't been covered, but has the ability to negate the other cast of quirky characters. And that is Success Sally. One of the things that we noticed with her was that she wasn't counting small successes. Between the other cast of characters, it would always be the things that didn't happen or that didn't get done. And she wasn't counting progress. Count the progress, even if it's baby steps. Let Sally have her moment. Let her. If you're going to give audience to Sir Richard and Deborah and Jackie and Feed Me Seymour, if you're going to give audience to them, Success Sally needs her audience too. Because the small steps count, and they count bigger than you originally think that they do. You don't have to sprint. Keep moving forward. Progress is progress. Even with baby steps, even with awkward stumbles. And let's talk about the success thing. When you think about an athletic event, maybe you did sports, basketball or football or soccer or baseball or any sporting events. You don't celebrate only at the end of the game. You take the moment to celebrate with each goal, each race, each whatever. You don't celebrate at the end. You celebrate with each touchdown, with each basket, with each hit, with each goal. You celebrate with each one. You celebrate at the win when you win the game, but you celebrate the shots that you take and you make during the game. So, question for you. What's it going to be? Will you keep going and be the hero of your own story, or quit and become the story as told by your cast of characters that are in your neighborhood? That's my question for you. So who are the people in your neighborhood? The people that you meet when you're walking down the street. The people that you meet each day. Thanks for tuning in. That's it. Today's episode is a wrap, and thank you for joining me today. Remember to check out the website. Grab your copy of the Success Pillars for Quiet Achievers resource that was created to support your journey. I hope you enjoyed this episode and you gained some valuable insights for helping you navigate some of life's inside-out challenges. Join us next week. You're not going to want to miss it. Thanks for watching, for listening, and subscribing. See you next time.